Hello. I know, been a while, huh? And I'm still having problems with my YouTube sending me back. I've lost about a dozen videos, I guess, that the files get corrupted. So I don't know what's happening. So I'll try and post this and see what happens. Oh, I don't even know where to start, really. I actually want to do a video about something in particular because it's something I'm kind of going through right now, and I suspect that I refuse to believe that I'm the only one in the world. So, but I want to talk about what losing the weight will not change for you and will not do for you. And I know that you've all heard, you know, that losing weight won't make you happy and this, that, and the other. And all that's true to a certain degree. I'm certainly happier for not being 500 pounds solely for that reason. But I'm not happy because of that. My happiness is really derived. I'm sorry. I'm having some problems here with my leg. My happiness is really derived from being able to conquer the issues that put me in that place in the first place. So here's what's come up now. If you've been following me for a while, you know that I had some issues with wearing my pre-surgery clothes for those first 10 months after surgery because I just could not make peace with my body and wear clothes that were that fit appropriately. And I moved through that, and it was hard, and it took some time. But you know, I've been out of that for a long time now, and I'm fine with that. And I've said, pardon me, I'm really happy with my size and everything right now. I'm mobile, I'm comfortable, I think I look fine. I'm the only one I'm really worried about. I don't really care what anybody else, if they think I do or not. I feel comfortable. I'm okay with how all of this turned out, although, in all fairness, my physical appearance is so completely, drastically different that I have had some issues being okay with how I look. Not because of how I look, because I'm fine with how I look, but just accepting that this is my face now, this is how I look now. And if you had known me before all of the weight gain, and I've heard this from people who knew me years and years and years ago, and that I grew up with, I look like Julie. You know, I look like people might have expected me to grow up and look. So that's comforting, actually, to me, that I don't look like somebody completely different, though to me and to most, I really do look truly different. So there's that, and I'm really okay with it, and I'm gonna make sure that I nail that right there, because what I'm gonna talk about has to do with looks. I've been on the Facebook for a while, and some of you are out there, and you're on my page, and I'm really enjoying Facebook. It's kind of fun. I like online games, and they've got a game on there called Mafia Wars, and I'm sure a lot of you know about it. It's on MySpace and stuff too. So I got into the game, playing the game, and one of the deals with the game is that you want to grow your mafia. You want to have a whole bunch of people because you want to be a big mafia. And so to do that on a networking site like Facebook, you know, you want to add people that are also playing the game. So you're not necessarily going to know everybody on your friends list if you choose to do this. So I chose to do it. I wanted to play the game, and so I started going out and adding people who were playing the game. So these are people I have no knowledge of whatsoever. I think I've added about 300 people, and out of those 300, I probably talked to about 50 of them with any kind of regularity, even if it's just a quick hi, hello, or sending little application smileys or something like that back and forth to each other. But I'll interact. If somebody wants to interact with me, I will generally, if I'm not completely sketched out by you, I will generally interact with you. So here's what happens when you add 300 people, and nobody's going to be surprised by this. It's like being in a bar, okay? Yeah, there's always going to be a couple. And so I have had some instances where I've gotten messages from men, and even a couple of women, but they're easier to deal with than the men, I think, sometimes. that were very pointed and direct about how I looked, and that they appreciated, let's just say, the way that I looked. And then it would go into dog status real quick. You know, if you talk to me like I'm some street trash whore, that's it for our conversation. Okay, I am simply not going to play with, converse with, engage with somebody who has such a deficit in their character. I'm just not. So I'm kind of thankful that the dogs are usually right out there with who they are. And one of the things that I've learned to do that will kill them really fast is I'll get an email like that, you know, that goes on and on about my looks, and I will turn around and send them a link to my before pictures, because the dirty dogs really don't want to know who I am, and you know, they really don't. It really puts a big old damper on the fantasy when you're looking at a current picture of me and then I slam you with reality. Okay, and for me, that's just the way of cutting it off completely. And then I delete the person and whatever. So I've had to do that a few times, but it hasn't been so bad. I mean, you deal with that anywhere. On the other side of that, though, I am having conversations with a couple of people. There's two different people right now in particular that I'm thinking of. And we had been having some email conversation back and forth and playing the game. These are people I met playing the game. And all of a sudden, you know, after several emails, here comes, well, you're really cute. You're pretty. You're whatever. Okay. First of all, I'm no good. I'm no good with the compliments. I just am not. I'm no good for me because it's always been about my looks. And so I don't know. There's just some issue there. We all struggle with that. I'm not the first one to talk about it. I'm trying very hard. And I've gotten very gracious about it. If I know you, if I know you're genuine, those kinds of things, I'm really able to say thank you and appreciate it for where it's coming from, and that it's nice, and that it's true, and that it's not, there's no ulterior motive. If I don't know you, it's a little harder. And with these two particular people, I'm a feeler, and I was disappointed that they made the comments, because that meant that I had to figure out, you know, I could be disappointed in the fact that, you know, oh, that's all they really wanted. Okay. But I hadn't been engaging in these conversations with them because I thought that originally. So what happened was, and this has happened to me several times, when I feel like somebody might actually be genuinely paying me a compliment, genuinely being nice, not trying to be a dirty dog, not trying to be anything other than just to, you know, say that they appreciate the way that I look. And if I feel like you might be being genuine and I don't know you, I immediately start to feel guilty and deceptive, and like I have to justify how I look. And in that is some issues of self-acceptance, accepting I know that this is how I look today. But my first thought when I hear somebody say something positive about that is, well, if you only knew. And one of these people told me, you know, that's your yesterday. It's not your today. And that person was right. That was my yesterday. But I am still clinging to her to some degree. And for some reason, I feel like you should not be able to look at this without seeing that. That is my issue. And that is my issue of self-acceptance and self-worth. And I need to do some self-forgiveness, you know, for what I put myself through, for what I did. And, you know, that's all stuff that I've dealt with in the last few years. And I'm frustrated to be back here again, because I kind of thought that I was doing okay with that. But when you feel guilty and you feel deceptive when somebody thinks you're attractive because you feel like they should be able to see somebody that doesn't exist anymore, that's your issue. That's not theirs. And I'm working on that. And the reason I'm not stressed out about it. I know what my issues are. I know I have some issues of self-acceptance and forgiveness and stuff like that. I knew those things were there anyway. But the reason that I wanted to talk to you about it today is because there is this, no matter how much you say surgery isn't your miracle and being thin won't change things, there is a part of you that hopes and believes that it will. And there are some things that it does change. I am certainly happier for not being 500 pounds, solely for that, okay? But I'm not happy because of that. My happiness comes from a completely different place. My happiness comes from my head being okay, from me being able to function. I bring this up today just to remind you, particularly you pre-oppers out there and you that are very new post-op, losing the weight, 300 pounds or not, 200, 100, 800, will not fix these things. There is a lot of work that goes into healing an entire person, and I just wanted to remind you of that. I hope you guys are all experiencing great success, and we'll talk to you soon.